Hi, aloha ladies. My name is Khiema Mills. I got into the program, I believe it was earlier this year, September 2023. I believe it was like in January I might have started, or maybe late last year, somewhere around that time. But I know it was like in the transition of the year. I started with the Rediscover Allure program, the basic package. And at that time, I knew that I wanted to date, but just knew that I just needed that, like rediscovering that confidence in me, rediscovering and even being given little tips. At that time, I was, researching on YouTube or looking at different things on Facebook that people post, but I feel that those things were information, but I needed something that would kind of put everything in order. And that's why I joined Laura Lady. So I'm going to go a little in detail and just give a brief analogy. So when we get packages, sometimes stuff that we have to put together, we often get all the material, but we don't know which things go in what order. And like with TikTok or YouTube, that's what I feel that we often get. We get the different information, but we don't know which order to use them. So it's like we still in limbo. We still, just lost. So it's like you have these things, but you don't know how to use it. So I feel it was more structured. The Law Ladies program is more structured. It's supportive. I feel that even in the basic package, I feel that we get support. And also when we come together in the weekly group class, it's support because what I may not ask, another lady may ask. And even if I don't get to go to that particular meeting that week, I can still glean from the questions that were asked from the other ladies. So I felt that it was a law ladies. The program is very supportive, and it meets each person at their individual area. Because I feel at the beginning when you did like just to get a little background, it was a very detailed talking. The session. I forgot what you call it, but it was like a very in detailed information intake session that you take the intake. Find out what we do, find out where we are in dating, and find out what we're looking for and what we think that we need. And I feel that, it's just very detailed and it's not just like something that's superficial. So that's what makes the Allure Ladies different than the other, different nuggets that we receive online. Like I had an aha moment where like when I think it was one of the sessions when you was talking about being honest with yourself, like how you fall short and the things that we feel that we need help with, and is the honesty part. Because a lot of times, I feel that every one of us, we may be broken in some area. And I feel that sometimes we're not honest with that. And that's why you got band-aids that's still over those areas. So I feel that in the session, I don't think it was like towards the beginning or maybe towards the middle of the Rediscover class, where you talked about being honest with yourself and, how you show up in the dating process. And it's just that honesty. Because I feel that that's the best thing. Once we're honest with ourselves, we can really show up the way we should show up, because now when we start to date, these things that we try to hide is going to come out. And sometimes we feel that, oh, it may be our looks that need to change that maybe deter the men, but we don't know that it's those little things that we're not honest with ourselves is what is really deterring or turning off the men from dating us. Being honest with the fact, like what I feel a lot of us women, we fall victim to men that are not honest with us. And I feel, and when I say that, I feel a lot of times, one of the things I'm gonna tell you that that really spoke to me when you talked about the categories. And I say that all the time. Like, so when you say like, when men first meet you, and I kind of was onto that, but you you elaborated on that in the program. And when you talked about the different categories, when they meet you, they may put you in a wife category, and either that can be either that you downgrade to girlfriend, or you get married to them, or you just, if they lose their trust, then, the relationship is done altogether. And like the one night stands or the platonic friendship, like those really that program and that area really spoke volumes to me, because I feel that a lot of times I will meet men, and I'm sure a lot of women can attest to that would show you or even say from the beginning of the meeting that they don't want anything serious. But yet us women, naive or desperate or really liking this person, we would still go on with it. And then when it comes to a point where you feel like it's not going anywhere, then we address the situation, and the man will just come back to you and tell you, I told you I didn't want anything from the beginning. And I feel that that's how a lot of us women get hurt and, get those emotional wounds because we allow ourselves to fall into the trap. I say it's a trap, but sometimes we kind of know that it's there, but we still go down that road anyway. Some of us. I'm not gonna say that's everybody's situation, but that's that I can say that has happened to me. That was basically a situation like before I started with the allure, and that's what made me wake up and realize that I'm a woman of substance. That was like my awakening point. I was in a situationship, and just after that ordeal, I realized that this person is always calling to me, always coming back to me for stuff, but they're not adding anything to me. They're not adding any value. They're not adding anything, but yet they're gleaning all of those benefits from me. So that's when I realized that I come to the table with something. And with that being said, I can't settle for anything. And with learning, that too, what I told you as far as men putting you in categories and men showing you who they are from the beginning, allowed me not to waste time with guys that don't see the value that's in me and is not coming to the table to add. So then that allowed me to skip over the jokers, and I'm gonna say the jokers that are not interested in dating me or pursuing me. So I found a program from Facebook, the Boaz Challenge. So with that being said, I know Boaz is in the Bible, and I know this is not a biblical a biblical program, but I know most of the women, because I know if you see Boaz, you're probably going to be a woman of God and like, oh, let me join this program. But I'm not saying that that's everybody's background, but I can probably assume that most of us ladies have some level of faith and believing in God. So with that being said, I'm a believer, and I believe that this is my time to find a husband, and that's why I got equipped, chose to join a program, got equipped from a law. So I met a guy on one of the dating apps, the Christian dating app, and it seemed good. It was talking good, and it seemed like it was something that was promising. And then they came clean. They came clean a few months later that they were originally deceiving me, and they came clean about it. So after that, I was disappointed because this was like a couple months that we was so-called in a relationship, and I felt disappointed. But then I had a boost of faith because, of course, being equipped with the allure ladies, just the confidence and just the techniques and just knowing how to go back out there with the tools to use during the dating, not to seem desperate, not to seem like you don't have the confidence, not to seem like only like you say, there's plenty of men out there. It's not a shortage of men. So that's always stuck to my head as well. After that, like I said, I got disappointed. I probably maybe like after a month, I got back on the online dating app, and I met my now husband. I just felt that God made a promise to me that I will get married this year. I mean, I know that's not everybody's testimony, but that was my testimony. And even with that, with God giving me a word, we still have to do the work as people. So, I did the work. I went back out there. I met my now husband. We conversated, we talked, and it happened just as with the program when you say that if a man is interested, you're gonna know. He's gonna share things with you. You're gonna know. You're not gonna have to pull the things out of him, and that's how it flowed. And 2 weeks after we met, we prayed and we fasted, and he asked me to marry him. And we married now. August 11th, we got married, and we're planning a big wedding next year in the island. I feel basically it's how they present. So my thing is, I'm big on fruits. A man can't say something, or a person shouldn't say something and not be able to back it up. So if I'm saying that I'm going to go to school in September come, I'm not registered for school. I'm not even showing any movement into that. So if a man is telling you something and not showing you, then it's obviously that he's not truthful with you. So with that being said, I feel that people show themselves, even show different signs, small signs in the beginning, even though you may not see the whole picture sometimes. But I feel that when we meet some people, we kind of see certain things that we notice that it's like, let me keep an eye on that. They might say one little white lie and be like, let me keep an eye on that. Or something that you may not like. So I feel that every time, and this could be even a regular female, friendship, certain things that people display, I feel we see it from the beginning. So that's also be honest with yourself. If you see it, don't just take it lightly and settle. Because at the end of the day, when I thought about that sometimes, it's like, okay, in the long run, how am I gonna be? Do I want to start all over again? Because I know, because in the past I've settled, and it's the same thing. I've settled. I've gone out of who I said I wanted to date, and it always fails. I end up back at square one. So my thing is, if you set certain boundaries, you set certain non-negotiable, you set certain things for yourself, stick to it. As long as it's not something that's too far-fetched, stick to it, because you're gonna get your heart's desires. I feel that we deserve it. I feel if you're putting in the work, you're gonna get your heart's desire. It's like going for that job interview. You want a certain amount of money. If you're persistent enough, you're gonna get it. And it's the confidence is what's going to attract. So when that boss sees that confidence, like, wow, this woman comes in here, asking for this. Oh, I'm gonna give it to you just because of that. So I feel that man that's for you, he's going to be attracted to that confidence. It's something that you possess. Like, I'm gonna share with my husband now. When we met, it was like we talked on the phone maybe that Thursday, and the Tuesday I coincidentally was in the same city that he was in. We're both in New York, but I'm in a different city. And he met me there, and I was kind of skeptical because I'm like online dating. I never saw him in person, and I was actually out with my friends, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to meet him for the first time with my friends, because suppose he don't look like himself in the pictures. And one thing he said when I met him, he was like, wow, you look better than your profile picture. And I figured that he looked even better than his pictures as well. And that night we talked from like maybe 9, 10 o'clock until about 3 o'clock in the morning. We talked in my car. And as we talked, whether it's that first day or like as we talked like a few days later, he was like, when he first saw me, he just saw like a glow. And he had like a love at first sight, moment. And he said he never had that before. And I feel that whoever is your Boaz, they're gonna have that for you. Because I feel every woman has somebody that is they're ribbed. Like I'm a Christian. I sometimes minister at church, and I wrote a sermon, "The Rib is Key." And why I say that, because Eve was created from Adam's rib. And I feel that every woman is that key, that's that missing key that fits into that lock of the man, that's able to unlock. And as we talk about the Ruth and Boaz story, Ruth was working. Ruth was working in the field, and Boaz was a established man, and he noticed. So I feel that as we are doing what we do, women, we're doing what we do. We're in our natural. We're naturally not. We're not going outside of who we are. We're naturally who we are. The man is going to see us, because the man is going to be attracted to us. because it's something that we naturally possess, that particular man that's for us we're gonna attract. So I feel that we don't need to be somebody else. If you have a certain kind of personality, you don't have to change that personality to attract. Maybe some things that are broken in us, that may be unhealthy ways that we cope, because that was another thing that we learned about the coping mechanism that we have created to cope with things that we want to cover up. Like, that's different. But if it's a natural who you are, who makes you may laugh a certain way, and maybe men tell you, oh, I don't like that laugh. Maybe 10 men that you've dated, oh, I don't like how you laugh. That 11th man is going to be like, oh, I just love that laugh. So I don't feel that we need to change who we are. So like I said, the rib is key. So you're going to be the key to somebody's missing that rib. So you're going to be able to unlock that man, and he's going to be able to see you for you. So I just feel that was one of the things that, he said that, it was love at first sight. The fact that he never, like, I ministered to him, and I'm able to get to him in ways that nobody has ever been able to. So he knew that I was the one. What I was saying, and also too, because we met online. So one thing he did, the feedback he did tell me, that when we were conversing on the phone, he said I came across as, like I said, because he's an ordained minister. And so he was saying the knowledge that I have, he said if we didn't work out, I would just be like a study partner, like a Bible study partner. But it was the seeing me in person that put everything together, and just being who I am. So what I'm saying, as far as not holding back, that may be the determining factor that's keeping you in a friend category, if you're not being who you really are. Because it's being who you really are is going to set you apart from the other people. But now, if you're being monotone, then not really showing who you are as a person, because I feel everybody has that special something. No two people are the same. So I feel that when you're holding back who you are, now that person can't distinguish you from the girl next door, or the other girl that he's dating on a dating site, if that's where you met him. So I feel like being genuine is the best way to be. Yes, of course, you're not going. It all depends on where the conversation is headed. Now, not saying that you're going to be that way to everybody from initially, but it all depends on how the man is showing up as well. Because now, if he's being vulnerable, even sharing with you, as like I said, I know one of the things that you said, that a man is, you're not going to have to pull things out of a man unless they're just very shy. But I feel that once they want you, they're gonna share. They're gonna be like, I was divorced, I had 2 kids, I live here. They're gonna share everything without you even telling them. And I feel that like certain pertinent information they're gonna give you without you having to dig for it. So I feel that it's in the being who you are is going to also make the man, be more vulnerable, be able to see who you are. And not everybody's gonna want that. Not everybody's gonna want a woman that knows more than them. If that's what you come across as. But some men want that. But at the end of the day, is you want the person that's right for you. You want your Boaz. You want who it is that God created for you. So I feel that in being who you are and not being somebody else, or not even showing up all the way. It's like having an appliance and you're not using it to its full potential. So you're showing up as a blender, but you're also a food processor. So the person is not using, not seeing the whole thing. So I feel like if you're a food processor and a blender in one, like you have to show every aspect of you, every dimension of you, because I feel it's all of the dimensions that makes us whole, that makes us who we are. You may be holding something back, and say you missed your opportunity, and say that's exactly what that man was looking for, but you didn't present that because you were scared. So that also goes back to part of the program. You talk about needing to seek counseling if you need counseling. So many of us women may very well need to be truthful with ourselves. Do I feel like I need to see somebody professional, to get me over this hump? Is it something more than just me not wanting to be vulnerable with a man? Is it something that's an underlying issue that may have happened when I was young? Is it something that may have happened from a previous relationship? So it's like I feel all of those things we need to be honest with, because I feel it's all part of a process of rediscovering ourselves, coming into that allure lady that's going to bring us into a successful relationship, that's going to allow us to show up and be introduced and enter into a successful relationship. This program, I feel like, because some people don't know about therapy, some people don't know that they can actually get therapy in certain areas. So I feel when you touch on that topic, if it's something that is foreign to some ladies, you kind of give like an overview, and you kind of give like little nuggets on what is what. And I feel like the difference between therapy is going to get you to a point where you can get into healing. This program may get you to the point where initially, I may have a problem, like to discover that thing, or if it's something that you've been struggling with before, but you've been in denial, or maybe just starting in this program and you realize that, what, I think this is something that I need to see somebody with. So I feel that everybody who may be struggling with something has a level of knowing, that something is wrong. If it's something wrong, they may know it before, or know it if somebody points out like certain symptoms or certain things that may hinder them from dating, or there's certain things that people sometimes suffer from. So I feel it's like Allure Ladies is an information session. It gives information, it gives coaching. But I feel counseling is a professional expertise in another area, which is mental health. So mental health could be depression, it could be anxiety, it can just be certain traumas that we deal with, that we end up forming coping mechanism, and that coping mechanism is what is keeping us back in life. So I feel that that's the difference. It's just a different expertise, but it's not the same. It's like a line, and like the two careers, they work side by side. It's not like something that's competing. It's just a different area that you're being worked on. Just like if you go to a heart specialist, and like you go to a neurologist, they're both doctors, but they're working on different areas of the body. So don't be scared to take that leap of faith. I feel that what can you lose? I feel knowledge is wealth, and this is knowledge. Because even things that I learned it take you into your marriages, it doesn't stop at the marriage. I'm gonna use another analogy. Here in New York, some of the high schools they do specialized testing to get in. Now, some people even offer like preparation for it. Now, the preparation that the person learns to get in, to take the entrance exam, when they get in, they're not going to just forget it at the door. They're going to still take that knowledge with them into the program because it's stuff that they learned. It's knowledge. So it's knowledge that you're going to take it with you. It's not like furniture where you leave it behind. It's in you. It's a part of you. So I feel that they shouldn't be afraid to spend on themselves, and also the different levels, and not even look at the different level as the different with the different prices, because I feel in that area too they should be honest with themselves. Because if you want to do the 8-week program, do you honestly feel that you what you need to learn, or the coaching that you need is going to take 8 weeks, or is it going to take 6 months, or is it going to take a year? So I feel even in that area, don't look at the money as, oh, it's too much. Look at yourself and be truthful. What do I honestly need? What's the time frame do I think I honestly need to get to where I feel that I'm going to be confident enough to go out into the dating world, and confidently enough to even just bounce back from whatever it is? Because, I feel most ladies on this may have been divorced, maybe older ladies. So we've been through it. We are not spring chickens. We're not green around the air. So we have been through certain things in life. So I feel like what is going to bring you to that point where you feel that, yes, I can enter back into the dating world. I feel like I have rediscovered myself. I feel like I'm that alluring lady that is ready to take on the street, that's ready to just walk into a room and know that heads are going to turn, know that I'm going to talk to somebody, so with that confidence. So I feel that honesty is the first thing. Honestly meaning knowing where you're at, where you come in, where you enter the scene on, like where do you stand, and to not shortchange yourself, because I feel that no amount of money can cover you learning something for a lifetime, because this is stuff that you can share with your children, you can share with your family members, you can share with your coworkers. I mean, yes, you will refer them to the program, but I find like I'm a person, people always come to me for relationship advice. An ex of mine came to me for relationship advice just yesterday. But so I'm just saying, I often give nuggets. So I'm like, even like the stuff that I learned from here, I find myself saying it. But I just feel like it's just something that will be with you for a lifetime. There's no amount of money that can pay for that. As I said, to settle. Before I was settling, before I didn't know how to navigate out. So it's okay, you get a little attention, and it's I hop on that, or I'll say I will hang around that little attention a little bit too long, and where I didn't need to. Because with the program now, yes, I may be beautiful, but my thing and my desire was always that I wanted a man to see me. And a lot of times, men, they see the so-called beauty, but they don't see you as a person. And you don't have to be beautiful, because I feel even if a man has a good personality, their certain things show up, I feel that just makes them look beautiful. So, and that's what goes back to being yourself. So I don't feel that beauty has anything to do with it, because it has, and it's also the beauty isn't behind is in the eye of the beholder, because certain people that we may think is not beautiful, we like, how did they get that husband? I'm sure plenty of people see certain stars, certain celebrities, and they're like, wow, their wife looks so ugly, but you don't know the heart of that person. So I just feel like don't look at yourself as being less than if you feel that you're not beautiful. Because I feel everybody's beautiful in their own way. So I feel whatever it is that you have that makes you beautiful, that's what you have. Everybody is not the same. Everybody don't have the same body type. Everybody don't have the same voice, because some people don't even like how they sound. So whatever it is that you have, somebody loves it. So I feel don't harp on what somebody else have, because you don't know what that person may struggle with. So what you do is you build up what you have, and you can't look at what other people have. And that's also too something that can like a mental counseling would help, because that's a self-esteem thing. So if it's something that's really to the point, because some people I know, they family members may have called them ugly from young. Sometimes their mother may have called them ugly from young. So that's something that may need counseling. But I know some women just basically like with the BBLs and all these different things that are going on, they just feel that they just want to look like somebody else. But I just feel like everybody has that thing that their husband is gonna want, and I just feel just be who you are. It may for somebody they may come out of the program and they'll be in the program and meet their husband. Somebody it may be a year after, but the whole thing is to show up for the program. You want to be involved. You want to intentionally do the assignments, not just not do it and say that the program don't work. You're going to intentionally show up for every aspect, every part of the program, and you're going to glean. You're going to ask questions. When you're doing the videos, you're going to write down your questions that you may have. If you have an encounter, you're going to write down your question. Like you have an encounter with a potential partner, or just something that you have questions. Write your questions down, because you have plenty of opportunities to talk to Nikki, because you have the one-on-one call, you have the weekly sessions, and I know in the longer packages you have more one-on-one coaching. You even have the retreat. You have when you can talk to other people physically. So I feel it's so much support in this that you would have so much confidence. You won't have no time to think that you're not ugly enough or that you can't show up. So I just feel that don't look at somebody else's beauty, their shape, and think that, oh, they did it because of that. Because I feel if in the past, the relationships that I've had, the men, they take me for granted. They've taken me for granted. Partly is because I've settled and I've allowed myself to entertain the wrong attention. And so I just feel beauty is, yes, it may be a part, but it's not the all. It's not the only thing. I feel it's how you show up. You have to show up with confidence, because you have that confidence that sometimes the men will say, wow, when I met this lady, she did this, and it's about that confidence, so it's like I just feel like that's the biggest thing. Once you gain that confidence, you don't have to worry about anything.